Hello, and my name's Robbie from Girl Bike Love. In this video, we're going to be discussing is indoor cycling as effective as outdoor cycling. Let's go. So what is indoor cycling? So indoor cycling is quite simply riding inside. You might be on an exercise bike like this, you could be in a spin studio, or you could be on a turbo trainer using your outdoor bike. Indoor cycling is very popular now, and in the past decade it's come a really long way where you can actually go into live online classes and also be put on leaderboard against other people sitting at home on their bikes. So outdoor cycling is exactly what it says on the tin. You get to go out and enjoy nature, you can meet up with cycling clubs, and it is a fantastic way to socialise. There's many different bikes you can use, from mountain bikes for trails, road bikes for the road, and even fat bikes for the beach. It's an exhilarating experience, and if you haven't done much cycling before, it's just one of those things where you can really get lost and just be out for hours before you realise you need to get home because it's going to be dark soon. So if you're just looking for a short answer, then yes, indoor cycling is just as effective or more effective than outdoor cycling. But they both have their advantages and disadvantages. And in this video, we're going to start by discussing the different advantages and disadvantages of each before telling you which one's going to be for you. So let's start with feeling. So riding a bike indoors and outdoors feels completely different. So riding indoors can feel uncomfortable for long periods of times. It's very structured, so you haven't got the sway of the bike, and because you never really stop pedaling, it can feel quite intense. When riding outdoors, you get that flow of the wind in the hair, the bike's going left to right, you're having to lean around corners, you're getting a break when you get to traffic lights, and it just gives a very different feel. So next we have workout structure. So when training indoors, you can really structure your workouts. From minute 0 to 5, you could be doing a warm-up. From minute 5 to 10, you could be 1 minute at high power, 1 minute at low power. You've got all your data metrics in front of you, and you can really tailor a workout for exactly what you want out of cycling. That's much harder to do when you're riding outdoors. Obviously, you've got all the distractions of everything around you, you're stopping all the time, there's times where you have to power to get up a hill, and there's times where you are going to be going downhill and you're not going to be able to put that power down. So if you're looking for workout structure, then the indoor bike really does take advantage here. So then you have conditions. So when riding indoors, you control the conditions. You can make it warmer, colder, you're not in the rain, you're not going to be out in the snow, and you don't need to worry about wind. When riding outdoors, that's something you need to deal with. So although you get the wind in your hair and you can be out on a nice sunny day, getting a tan, fantastic. But there is going to be times, especially in winter, when it's snowing, it's ice cold, and it can be much more challenging to go out and train and actually have a really good session or workout, because sometimes you just get too cold. So riding indoors, a very big advantage is the fact that you control all the conditions around you. So next we have muscles used. So you would think that cycling indoor and cycling outdoors would pretty much use all the same muscles, when actually there's a few differences. When cycling outdoors, you end up using your core a lot more, you end up using your arms, and those stabilisation muscles really come into play when you're going round corners and doing off-road riding. When indoors, you're fixed in one position, so you find yourself using your core less, not using your arms as much unless you're standing, and you do end up just powering heavily more into the legs than anything else. So then we have convenience. So I've been riding bikes for many years, indoors and outdoors. And one thing I can honestly say is I find riding indoors just so much more convenient. You can literally roll out of bed, get some random workout clothes on, and just jump on the bike and start going. If you want a drink, you just jump off the bike, get a drink, and then jump straight back on again. When riding outdoors, it's a little different. You obviously have to make sure your bike's ready. You've got to make sure you've got air in your tyres, that you're wearing the right clothing, that your lights are charged, and if it's winter, all the extra clothing you need to put on. So riding indoors does offer a really big level of convenience compared to riding outside. So then we have cost. So I've always found that indoor cycling can work out a little bit cheaper in the long term compared to outdoor cycling. So with indoor cycling, you could get a really decent mid-range bike such as a Bowflex C6 for around $1,000, some basic fitness clothing and some cycling shoes, and you are good to go. You're not really going to need to service that bike for about 3 or 4 years, depending on how much you use it, and you're going to have a really good experience. So once everything's bought, you're pretty much there and ready to go. With outdoor cycling, obviously you've got a bike, and if you're looking for something mid-range, you're already spending, $1,000 to $2,000, and then you need to keep on top of your tyres, all your equipment, your servicing. There's a lot more clothing to buy for outdoors, so you can end up spending a lot more. And I find that over 3 or 4 years of riding outdoors, you can easily spend, $2,000 to $4,000. And riding indoors, it seems to just, you buy everything and you're good to go for many, many years. So is indoor cycling as effective as outdoor cycling? Well, in my opinion, yes. And in some ways it could be made to be even more effective than outdoor cycling. The fact you can structure your workouts, you've got all your data in front of you, such as cadence, heart rate, and power. It does mean that you can really make some big fitness gains very quickly by riding a bike indoors. But on the other side of things, nothing beats riding outdoors. Being out in nature, exploring the world, and although you might not be training as best as you can, you are going to be distracted, you might be out for longer, and you are using more muscles because you've got your arms and your core firing at the same time. In a perfect world, doing a mix of both indoor and outdoor cycling would be the best thing to do, but it really comes down to what you enjoy more. Whatever you're doing, whether you're indoors or outdoors, you're still getting fitter, you're still burning calories, and you're still having fun. Thanks for taking the time to watch our video today. Make sure to subscribe to the Girl Bike Love channel for loads more great videos on indoor cycling.